Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. This is Vishal and you're watching Nifty and Bank Nifty short-term view. In today's trading session, we have seen a lot of volatility. First foremost, we did open gap down close to that 19,454 mark. We went all the way down till 19,360, 336 or maybe a little bit more than that. And from that point, we gave a pullback to almost near the day's high at 19,445. Now, the first reason why this pullback has come is due to this particular trend line. If you can see this trend line, this is the daily time frame chart. And if you want to magnify your chart and you want to see it even more clearly, then you will have to convert your daily time frame chart to weekly and see this particular trend line, which is holding on since almost 3 years. Last time when it was tested over here, I guess in March 2023, you saw from 16,800 levels, we saw a rally till close to 20,000 mark. So you can see the power of this trend line. Today, we did intercept this particular trend line in intraday basis on the downside, but closing has been above it, which is a good sign. And the candle which has been made today is a hammer. But nevertheless, the trend is still down in the daily and in the hourly time frame charts because the prices are trading below the dual moving averages in both time frames. Now, if this pullback continues, then there is a decent possibility that there is a gap which has been left open due to today's gap down. This should be filled first. Once this gap is filled, what we need to understand is, as a trader, just because we are at supports, we should not haste in going for new swing trades or new bullish trades on the upside. We should wait, understand first of all what price action is getting developed in this region, whether this is just a dead cat bounce and then again we are going to bisect the trend line on the downside, or we remain above the trend line at least for a couple of days and then we start going higher on the upside. And again, if we do sustain on the upside, which are the sectors which are going to help Nifty? I'll share a couple of sectors with all of you, but that is what we need to understand. Please do not haste, do not hurry in taking long positions on the upside. Be very, very careful, be very, very methodological. Now, if you look at the banking pack, the Bank Nifty, even the Bank Nifty does have a decent support. It's not as strong as Nifty, but yes, this support is holding on since June 2022. We have been closing below this one, okay, for today's day. But to break such a big trend line, we need to close at least 400 points below this trend line, which means we need to close at least at 43,600 as per the law of trend line. And we should not forget that apart from this trend line support, this is also a previous low, which is a support. So this entire zone, okay, I'll just use another different color for you. This entire zone becomes now a very good support zone. Despite closing below the trend line, we are still at a support zone. So what we need to understand, if we close below 43,600, then yes, things will get a little bit ugly and probably banking stocks can go on the downside. The more we remain above 43,600 and we try to close this gap which has been made by today's trading session and we stay higher, then things will be slightly better. In banking pack, we need to understand that the PSU banking stocks have rallied a bit too much, especially PNB and Bank of Baroda. Both of these stocks possibly need to consolidate. They need to correct a little bit. I'm not talking about too much, just a little bit. They need to consolidate, correct. You can see even PNB has come down by 4% today. So there's a possibility they will consolidate. Some profit booking is visible. But if the overall banking pack needs to stay higher, then it is SBI, the king of the PSU banking stock, which has to start outperforming. And one more stock which has outperformed today is the HDFC Bank. Now, the reason of the outperformance in HDFC Bank is due to this particular support. You can see that the stock has bounced from a Fibonacci extension in the hourly time frame chart, and the RSI was also, the daily chart RSI was at 30. So this is the reason of this pullback, and there is a decent possibility we might pull back till 1560 or maybe slightly higher at 1573 in this particular stock. Now, the sectors which could try and help Nifty to stay slightly higher, there were two sectors. First was metal. The first pick was metal because metal stocks were trading in the hourly and in the daily time frame chart at decent supports. All right. They did try to bounce back, although the bounce backs did got sold into, but the supports have not been broken. So once again, if there is some sort of momentum and if we try to break these highs where a lot of resistance is coming in the early time frame charts, then there is still some chance of outperformance left over here. But if we break and if we start going lower in the daily time frame chart, in the early time frame charts, probably all the hopes in the middle pack will be, come to an end. Now, the second sector, which is even more stronger, is the IT pack. Now, IT pack, if you want to have a look at it in slightly more clear manner, I would advise you to, just open and have a look in the weekly time frame charts, how beautifully the sector has gone up. Now it has slightly come down, trying to take support over here. And probably in the daily time frame charts, it's trying to bounce back. It's consolidating. It's not that attractive in the daily time frame charts right now. Even in the hourly time frame charts, this is a mere pullback. But if they start moving slightly more higher, they try to give a breakout. Even you can see there is a lower low in the price, higher low in the RSI. These signs do tell us that some sort of short-term breakout in the early time frame charts or maybe in the 2 hourly time frame charts in the IT stocks may set a good decent momentum on the upside. Now, a couple of stocks from my side I would just like to share with all of you. The first one is possibly HCL Tech. HCL Tech has corrected nicely. If you just have a look at the hourly time frame charts, it has corrected a long way down, right? And you can see it has made a lower low in price and a higher low in RSI. And what is happening is the momentum on the downside is loosening up. So if it tries to give a breakout, then swing traders should keep a watch on it. The second stock from my side is TCS. Now this stock has suddenly given a very big rally in the candle in the second last hour of today's trading session. And if you try to put up the volume bars over here, there is a decent possibility that you will see a very good volume. So this is a sort of volume up move in this particular stock. If you try to break the higher levels, possibly 35.70, 35.60, especially 35.70, and if you stay above it with a big green candle in the early time frame charts, then there's a decent possibility of the stock to go higher in the coming days. Swing traders, just be careful that possibly on 11th of October, there is a result coming up of this particular stock. So you should be very, very careful when you're a short-term swing trader and the result season is coming up, right? So I guess summing it up all, we should need to understand that today's day was very much volatile, but at least at last we managed to close above the trend line support. Bank Nifty is also trading at a support, but it needs to prove itself even more harder than the Nifty, and it needs to stay higher than this trend line support, possibly try to fill this gap. After it fills the gap, we will revisit the charts of Nifty and Bank Nifty, and then we'll decide what's the next move of these two indices. All right. Trade less in this environment, stay vigilant, and try to concentrate only on sector-wise stock allocation, which means if you find a sector which is looking good enough, maybe on the short side, maybe on the long side, only then go and park your money, right? Please do not jump in any stocks randomly. Trade less and try to share this video with other people if you find that this particular educational video has helped you to add more value. Trade well. Thank you.